If you picked up your life and moved to another country without knowing anyone in that country, how do you think that experience would go? Especially as an adult man, if you had to build a new friend group from scratch in a foreign country, where would you start with that? What would that look like for yourself? And this is the experience that I had after moving to Spain in September 2021. And I'm so grateful to be able to share this with you. Because going through some of these experiences, I knew I was going to be able to share them in one way or another. So here I am. And the reason that this experience is so special is the level of vulnerability that comes with it. The vulnerability required here. If you move to a new country with no prior knowledge of the language, okay, without knowing anybody there, and with no knowledge of the city, or the country for that matter, there's real exploration in that. And if you think about those things, it's like, it is what it is. I don't know. I don't know the language. I don't know anybody. I don't know the city. You walk through the door and you're like, here I am. It is what it is. So you have to be an open book. You gotta be an open book. You have to go to the social events. You have to wander the city by yourself for hours because there's nothing else to do, really. You have to feel the isolation pushing you to go. It's there for a reason. You have to stumble through learning a new language. You can put yourself in the best situations to meet people, or you can sit in your room, in your bedroom, and we know how that goes. And going to these social events, doing all the things, you're not going to do it all. And you're not going to be 100% on everything. That's okay. But feel the feeling of isolation and loneliness. It's there for a reason. It's pulling you out. When I first arrived to Spain, when I first got to Spain, the variety of social events were big time. This was key. Because I quickly learned that there's other foreigners here that are also looking to meet people. So right away, clearly I wasn't alone in this. And to name a few language exchanges, you just go to a pub, a place, and you share languages. You exchange your language with someone else and just practice. Fun. Really awesome way to meet people. Pub crawls at night. You just meet up with a group of people, hop around to different pubs, get deals, hang out. Beach volleyball, board games. Really nice events, to name a few there. And the thing about going to these events and starting to make connections, talking with people, meeting people, really getting my feet wet, this is the thing. There were so many people that I could have hung out with. But I didn't want 13 drinking buddies. You know what I mean? That stuff's easy. That stuff's really easy. It's more fun and exciting to find the real connection, to have the real conversations. Those people you come across and they have what you're looking for. You meet that person, You have a few interactions and you think, yes, that person knows. That person has something. They know something. When there's a depth to a person and we can speak on how we're feeling, what we're struggling with, our vision, and what we have in mind for ourselves. There's that other element in their presence. There's another element in their presence. So through all the wandering on my own, through the first few months, I kept that person in mind. I knew those people were out there. And I ended up finding quite a few of them. Like really, really phenomenal people. And wow. The love there, the hugging, the vulnerability, the ability to just be together with no expectation on how to be. I specifically remember a moment where I was with two of my best friends. And we were doing something simple. We got some food or coffee, and we were just walking the city. And we all came to this agreement through walking together in this moment that we just felt good with one another. We just felt good with one another. My one friend said, he said, when I'm with you two, I just feel good. And that's it. That's it. I remember walking that day, and there's that swagger, that thing in the air, where we can just be ourselves. We can just be anyway, talk about whatever, and we're having a good time. It's these moments that are the rewards when we get specific with our time and who we share it with. Social time becomes very rich when it's not for everyone. If you think of quantity and quality, if you're sharing your social time with a lot of different people and it's spread all over the place, that richness gets spread all over, and those each individual interactions, social time, they're not as dense, they're not as rich, right? They're not as intense. When the quality is there and you have a few specific people who you really care about, you like spending time with, the richness, the density in that richness is felt in that social time. So you lay it all out on the table and you think, who do I want to spend my time with here? And it's this group of people here, right? It's these people. Because I know that I can share anything with these people. And I'm loose. I can be vulnerable. And there's that other element. They bring more out of me rather than closing it in, closing it back out, shutting it down. There's that release. There's that release or the restriction. And you know that. Those certain people you get around, and there's a restriction to really letting yourself out. And meeting these people, going through this process in Spain, it was a process. It was a process, and it took some time. But these people opened up new doors for me on what is possible in relationships, what is possible in friendships. There's that childlike nature to friendship And through this, I learned a new level of play.